There is a multi-generational cycle that affects basically everyone unless some people opt out on purpose. Okay. And that's kind of true of all generational cycles. If you've heard of chain breaking, you're breaking the chains of all of your generational crap, all the stuff that your ancestors went through. Everyone watching this is a chain breaker. Congratulations. You are a chain breaker. You are shifting some false traditions of your fathers. Oh my gosh, and it's really exciting stuff. And today we're talking about the multi-generational cycle of shame, which is a big deal. Were you shamed as a child? I'm going to guess that the answer was yes, because I have trouble imagining most families figuring out how to parent without using shame at some point or another in the history of their parenting. I know I have shamed my own children, not necessarily on purpose, although I'm like thinking of like, certainly there have been times in my life, I've been a parent now for 12 years, almost 13 years, and there have been times where I shamed my children, and I even in my mind I'd be like, I'm shaming my child, I need to stop, and then I like didn't stop, which is why I wrote my book on parenting, which is available on Amazon. It's called 30 Days of Belief Work Parenting. It helps rewire your subconscious mind. And I'm working through it right now for myself. As I wrote it, I like got all these beliefs and I'd be like, oh man, I really need to work on this one, but I need to work on this one really hard. And so we're all works in progress, including myself. But I can tell you, I was shamed as a child. I'm pretty sure you were shamed as a child. But why were we shamed as children? Because our parents were shamed as children. And why were they shamed as children? Because their parents were shamed as children, and shame is just an incredibly effective tool. Shame is an incredible way to manipulate people, right? I mean, like, have you done something that you didn't want to do because of shame? Yes, I would bet $1 zillion that you have done that, and I have done that. I have done things I didn't want to do because I felt ashamed, shamed into it. If you don't do this, you're not a good person. I'm so disappointed in you for not doing this kind of thing, right? These are tools that people use to manipulate other people. And nowhere is this more pronounced than in the setting of the family. We perpetuate these cycles, I think, a lot of times because we don't know how else to do it. And also, I think because it's this ingrained pattern, right? We've inherited these structures of thought from the family line. And I hope you remember the brain fascia session we did for our ancestors. Hopefully some things have shifted from that, shifting the brain function of the family line in a positive way. But today we're working on generational shame and breaking that cycle. Yesterday, I invited everybody to work through the general shame session. And today I'm inviting you to do it again on behalf of your ancestral line. Here's my dream for all of us. I would love it if all of us got that much closer to breaking the chains of generational shame, this horrible cycle that poisons every new generation of children, that wounds us, that, I don't know. I mean, again, yesterday I talked about Brene Brown. Brene Brown has done a lot of scholarship in this area, but shame just is so toxic, and it hurts the soul. It hurts our spirits, and it's hard to break out of it. Why is it hard to break out of it? A big part of that is because of ancestral issues. And the more that we can clear out the shame that our ancestors felt and the shame that they chose to dump on their descendants, the easier and happier our lives are going to be. They are going to feel better. We are going to feel better. It's going to shift how we interact with our families in a subconscious way. This is one thing that I really love about my work, is hearing from people who just realize that they act differently now. Like they didn't have to sit there and be like, well, I'd better be sure to use these words and not these words with my family. They didn't have to be that conscious. All it took was clearing out the old emotions, and then all of a sudden it was easy for them and natural for them to act the way they actually wanted to act. We remove these subconscious blocks and we get to be the people we wanted to be without even trying. Sometimes the way to be the person that you want to be is to get rid of the blocks in the way of you being that person. And that is what this work is all about. Sometimes the blocks in the way of us being who we want to be are not our blocks. They're from our ancestors. And again, that's why we're here. We're chain breakers. We're breaking the chains. And today we're working through the general shame session on behalf of our ancestors. There's instructions on how to do that in there. There should be. It's called How to Get the Most Out of Your Session, and it should have a little instructional in there on how to do that on behalf of your ancestors. But tune in with your own self right now. You just tune in, close your eyes, take your deep breaths, imagine the council of your own ancestors around you, and you just ask them, guys, you ready for this session? You want this session? Because I think they're going to say yes. Some of them might say no. In that case, you just say, okay, well, I don't have to do it for you. You can relish your shame for as long as you want, but the rest of the family line, we are clearing this out for the rest of the family line today. And just see in your mind, in your heart, what is the reaction that you feel in your body from this? Because I think that there are a lot of people in your family line who are ready for this to go and who are so excited that you are willing to do this for them. So on their behalf, I just want to verbally say thank you. Thank you for being a hero for your family line. There's going to be ancestors of yours and even possibly descendants of yours who don't care about the work that you're doing, that don't appreciate it, that don't want you to do it. Guess what? You are even blessing them. You are even blessing the people who don't care and don't like it. You are being a hero for everyone in your family line. You ask our creator for verification on this. You ask in prayer and see what answer you get about this. But that is my belief. You are a hero. You are a hero today. You're a hero this month. You are doing incredible things, shifting the energy for your entire family line. And it is not just blessing you, it is blessing all of the descendants of your ancestors. Think about the ancestors that you're clearing for 20 generations ago, and think about how many of their descendants must be alive today all over the world. And some of those people are going to wake up today and have a much better day and a much better life because of the work that you did in their family line, because it's your family line, and everyone wins when we bless our ancestors. So thank you guys for being here. I can't wait to hear how this session goes on behalf of your ancestral line. So be sure to tell me about it on Facebook, Intuitive Healing with Ellie Duzette. Okay, you're a rock star. I believe in you, and you're going to have a great day. Probably. I'm sending you great day vibes. Okay, bye guys.